Hello students, welcome to lecture on comparative account of brain in vertebrates part 2. In this lecture, we will discuss the brain of cyclostomes, fishes and amphibians, starting with brain in cyclostomes. In these organisms, three main parts of the brain are forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain, just like the vertebrates. They have large pair olfactory bulbs, as you can see here, which is a part of telencephalon of the forebrain. Here you can see the small cerebral hemispheres, followed by this diencephalon, and mesencephalon or the midbrain is here. Then you can see a very small cerebellum portion here. This is the rhombencephalon and this is the medulla. So it has a large ventral medulla oblongata, while the cerebral hemispheres are small. This is a diagram of brain of cyclostomes that you can draw. These are the olfactory tracts, followed by olfactory lobes. Then there are cerebral hemispheres which are present, and each hemisphere is connected to single bipartite diencephalon. In the case of hindbrain, for myxine you can see here cerebellum is absent while medulla is present. In the midbrain, as with all the vertebrates, the roof of midbrain is known as stectum, while the floor of midbrain is known as tegmentum, which is a derivative of basal plate. This stectum receives sensory information, hence also known as optic tectum in case of fishes and amphibians, while the tegmentum, it initiates the motor output. In the forebrain or telencephalon, there are large olfactory bulbs followed by cerebral hemispheres. The diencephalon gives rise to a number of neural appendages. Paired optic nerves lead to lateral eyes. On the dorsal side, there is large structure known as habenula, which is found in lampreys, and it has attached pineal body. The function of pineal body in case of anemniotes is production of melanocytes, while in the case of amniotes it regulates the biorhythms. On the ventral side there is pituitary gland, and lampreys have oculomotor nerve which leave the midbrain ventrally, and trochlear nerve. On the caudal side of small cerebellum in the lampreys, rhombencephalon is present, which has large choroid plexus covering the fourth ventricle. The choroid plexus is a plexus of cells which secrete cerebrospinal fluid. Next, let us see the brain in fish. The brain in fish is also based on the same general plan as shown in cyclostomes, but there are certain advancements, as you can see here. Let us discuss the anatomy of brain in fishes. Cartilaginous fishes have large olfactory lobes, as shown here, and moderately sized optic lobes. The part of forebrain, pallium, which is a primitive sensory and association area in the vertebrates, is divided into medial, dorsal and lateral, which are further subdivided. The midbrain cavity extends into optic lobes. There is presence of pineal apparatus or pineal body, and the most prominent thing shown here is that they have a large cerebellum. This cerebellum helps in balancing and coordinating the movement. So in these actively swimming fishes, it helps them in maintaining their balance and the orientation in three-dimensional space in water. In bony fishes, Their brain is more specialized than elasmobranchs. You can see various structures here in this diagram. You can draw this diagram. This is the olfactory bulb and this is the olfactory tract, which is attached to this olfactory lobe here. Then there are small cerebral hemispheres, and this is the diencephalon. There is presence of the pineal body, and these are large optic lobes. Also they have cerebellum larger than the cartilaginous fishes. Their cerebellum is divided into corpus cerebelli and valvula cerebelli parts. They also have a very well developed medulla oblongata which continues into the spinal cord. Next is the brain in amphibians. In amphibians, you can see that there is separation in these cerebral hemispheres here. They have small olfactory lobe while larger optic lobes. The pineal body is present. Thalamus, which is a part of diencephalon, is also present here. And there is relatively smaller cerebellum as compared to higher vertebrates. And there is small medulla which goes into the spinal cord. In the midbrain lumen, aqueduct is present which connects the brain ventricles. Some more points about brain in fishes and amphibians. They share very much similarities in their brain. The midbrain is most prominent region in fishes and amphibians. As I already told you that midbrain is divided into tectum and tegmentum because this tectum part receives sensory information. So one part of this is known as optic tectum here, which receives the visual sensory information. In the fishes, the forebrain or cerebrum is divided into two main areas. Just like other vertebrates, these are primitive sensory and association area known as pallium, and another area is the motor area known as subpallium. In the subpallium, there is globus pallidus which is present. This globus pallidus takes the information from pallium and thalamus and transmits it to motor nuclei, hence helps in the role of the motor area. In amphibians, obviously these two main areas will be present as like other vertebrates, but in addition there is nucleus in subpallium which helps in coordinating the movement of limbs. In the next lecture, we will discuss the brain in reptiles, aves, and mammals. Thank you.